An attorney called me out of the blue one day and told me my birth mother wanted to meet me. And my first honest reaction, the one I felt before I had time to think about what I was supposed to feel, was that I did not want to. I want to start there with that feeling because I think it matters. Because the world has a very specific story it likes to tell about adoption reunions, the tearful embrace, the missing piece finally found, the two strangers discovering they were always meant to know each other. And that story is real and true for a lot of people. Just was not mine. And for a long time I felt quietly guilty about that. I was placed for adoption when I was 3 or 4 weeks old. My parents adopted me and raised me almost my entire life. And somewhere along the way the fact that I was adopted just became a small detail in a much bigger, fuller story. Half the time people forget. Half the time I forget. My parents are my parents, not my adoptive parents, not my legal guardians, just my parents, and my brothers, their biological children, are my brothers. That is not a complicated feeling. It is just the truth of how I grew up. I am 24 now. Happily married. Good career beginning to take shape. A life that I have built and that I am genuinely proud of. And into the middle of that life came this attorney, on behalf of a woman I have never met, asking if I would be willing to sit across from her. My husband was supportive the way he always is, which means he told me he would back me no matter what, and then looked at me with so much love that it was basically impossible to get an unbiased read on the situation from him. I did not tell my parents or brothers at first. I was not sure I needed to bring them into something that might amount to nothing, and I also did not want anyone to feel threatened by a question I had not even answered yet. So I sat with it on my own for a while. Here is the thing about being placed for adoption: people tend to assume you must have questions. That somewhere underneath the ordinary life you built there is a burning curiosity about where you came from, who she was, why she made the choice she did. And maybe for some people that is true. For me it genuinely was not. I felt no pull, no void, no mystery that needed solving. I was grateful, deeply, sincerely grateful, that she had made the choice she made, because that choice led directly to everything good in my life. But gratitude is not the same as connection. And I did not know how to explain that without sounding cold or ungrateful, or like I was punishing her for something she had done out of what I could only assume was love. The question that kept circling back was not whether I wanted to meet her. It was whether I was a terrible person for not wanting to. I kept turning it over. She had gone through the effort of finding an attorney. She had reached out formally, carefully, with respect for my boundaries. She was not demanding anything, she was asking. And she had spent 24 years presumably wondering how I turned out. Whether the choice she made at what I imagined was a very young age, and a very hard moment, had given me a good life. That thought is what shifted something in me. Not enough to change my answer, but enough to change how I thought about what I could give her. Before I get to what I decided, subscribe to Storyteller Aqua, and hit the notification bell if you have not already. These stories take real time and care, and your support means everything. Now let me tell you what I put in that letter. I decided not to meet her. That decision stayed firm. But I also decided that saying a flat no and leaving it there felt like the wrong ending to a story she had been carrying for over 2 decades. So I wrote a bio. Not long. Not emotional in the way that might have felt false coming from me, because I did not have those feelings and I was not going to pretend I did. Just honest. I wrote about my childhood, the kind of childhood that I think she had hoped to give me when she made the choice she made. I wrote about my parents and my brothers, about the home I grew up in, about the fact that I had always felt loved and secure, and like I belonged exactly where I was. I wrote about my college degree and my career and my husband, and the plans we were starting to make for our future. I included a few photos, and I thanked her simply and sincerely for giving me the chance at a life like this. I sent it all to the attorney along with a message for him to pass along to her. I told her I had thought about it carefully, and I was not ready for a meeting or a relationship at this point. I also asked, since my husband and I were thinking about starting a family, whether she could share any relevant medical history from her side or anything she knew about my birth father's health. The attorney got back to me within a day. She was disappointed, he said. But she was also, and I held on to this, thrilled. Thrilled and grateful for the bio and the photos. She said it was clear I had been raised well, and that gave her something real to hold on to. She also shared that there were no major health concerns on her side of the family, and that to the best of her knowledge the same was true for my birth father. And she asked, gently through him, whether she could reach out in the future if anything medically relevant came up. I said yes. Through the attorney, always through the attorney, because I wanted that channel open without leaving the door open for something I was not ready for. I told him they were free to keep my contact information and I would keep theirs. I said I was not ready now, but I would not say never. There was no point in burning a bridge I might one day want to cross, even if I had no current plans to do so. And then, because I had been carrying all of this quietly for weeks, I told my family. I had been worried, I think, that telling my parents would hurt them somehow, that knowing my birth mother had reached out would stir something complicated, some old insecurity or fear. I was wrong. They were completely supportive. Not just politely supportive, but genuinely warmly proud of the way I had handled it. They said they had my back no matter what I decided, and that nothing would change how much they loved me. Of course they did. Because that is who they are. That is who they have always been. And that, more than anything else in this whole story, is why I never felt a void where my birth mother should have been. The space was already full. I think about her sometimes now. Not with longing, not with curiosity exactly, but with something softer. A kind of quiet appreciation for a choice made under circumstances I can only imagine, that sent me in a direction that turned out to be exactly right. She made a decision in a hard moment and it gave me everything. That is not nothing. That is actually everything. I do not know if we will ever meet. Probably not. But she knows I am okay. More than okay. And I know that somewhere out there is a woman who can finally stop wondering whether she made the right call. She did. If this story gave you a feeling you want to share, drop it in the comments. Do you think she made the right choice, and what would you have done? Leave a like if this one stayed with you, and subscribe to Storyteller Aqua so you never miss a story. Take care of yourselves. I will see you in the next one.